We're live, guys. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Jay.
Doing well. How's everybody?
Doing good, doing good. Happy to be here. Always look forward to our Tuesday nights, so that's a good thing.
For sure.
For
sure.
All right, we're going to continue with this series kind of that we're on, that we had these laid out, and I think this is a good one, so we're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to pop it up right here. Topic tonight is brothers in battle. Brothers in battle. So let's jump right in and talk about it. I mean, what does that mean? What does it mean to you? So who wants to take it on first? Because this is something that I think, we're going to talk about what men tend to do, but that's what I think this gets to the heart and soul of why we created this group and why we're so close and all that. So who wants to jump in?
I'll go. I think it's the courage, the strength, the stripped downness of men going into any battle, regardless of what it is, relationships, kids, job, whatever. When you feel like you have, like you guys, I feel like I have you guys behind my back. If I'm, obviously pray about it, talk to, whoever about it, I'm coming to you guys first, whether it's group chat or one-off or all of us, like, all right, I'm going to battle with this thing. Like, let me get a couple different opinions. I think that's, again, why, Devo obviously wanted to do this, and it's come all together. You've got different backgrounds, different age kids, different professions. Just knowing that you've got people behind you that are going to give you the honest truth, that are going to back you regardless, love you regardless, and then most importantly, pray for you while you're doing it. I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes I think men get scared to do certain things because if it's the women in your life, you're not able to per se, or not taught to share those things. But I think if you have brothers in battle, it's like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What am I not thinking about? And you can get that real expertise from somebody. I think being a man gets how we feel and can share how we've felt or how we feel, or if we haven't gone there before. So it's kind of like having that invisible wall behind you to bounce ideas off of, or just know you're there in case you do fail.
Yeah, who's next?
I'll take first thing I've thought about is like, what type of battle is he talking about? Is he talking about the internal battle? Is he talking about the external battle? And, because those are two, I think, heavily weighted, at least from my perspective anyway. I know a lot of times I'm my own biggest problem. Like I'm battling myself, just because I start just a whole lot. I start battling myself and start having these types of thoughts that I probably shouldn't have. Or I finally got around to listen to the sermon that Josh sent out a couple weeks ago and talk about being a peacemaker. And I was like, that thing just jumped on me so much. Like, do you get caught up in society, and do you feel like it's your job, your occupation to defend everything that's going on? Or do you somehow try to bring about peace? I think about my wife. She's always saying that, Vaughn, it's not the little things. I mean, it's not the big things, it's the little things. Do you get off your keister and quit watching the baseball championship and take out the trash? Or do you just go turn off the TV and just grab first 5-10 minutes of just conversation and just try to check in and see where you are? Or do you, like, what type of battle are you? I think a lot of times we know right from wrong, but do you make and go the extra effort to actually do what you know is right? So that's my stance on my battles.
Yeah. Eric?
I'm not even going to act like I understand the military definition of battle with two military men on the call. I am a son of an Army man and have a lot of military folks in my family, uncles and cousins and whatnot. But obviously you got some common enemy that you're fighting. And, when you're pledging to go in it together, the outcome you hope is going to be the same, or at least a shared outcome, depending on what your battle is. And I know I can lean on you guys or folks from my church that I'm a part of to go through some type of issue or concern that I may be dealing with that might be similar to something you've already experienced. And so I just liken it to, being a part of a, military team that you're facing some common enemy, you pressing forward, you're trying to move forward, picking each other up when, somebody's fallen, and not overcome, and know that you're going to be okay. I know we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's kind of how I see brothers in battle.
Well, I'll tell you how you do understand it is everybody on here is athlete, right? And so I was in the military, but I also liken it to being an athlete, on a football team or a baseball team, really football team. Let's go back to football. I mean, we have a common opponent and if you simplify it on a weekly basis, our enemy is that team across from us. And we're going to band together. We're going to support each other and do everything we can to win. And lift each other up. Sometimes some guys have a great game. Other times they have a bad game. But what can we do to fill the gap for them? And so it's the same in the military. I would agree with you, Eric. That's a great one. How do we deal with those battles and all that? But the thing is I go back and I think about the military and I think about being on a sports team. There's nothing like it. That's why when we become adults and we get older, there's something missing sometimes because you're not going to practice. You're not doing two-a-days in football. You're not getting ready to play and going to battle on the field and all that. And so, sometimes I just look at it like that. It's like, can we be there for each other in life now? And we miss that. And that's why this group is so important. What we're trying to create is so important is that, you don't have that built-in team that you're playing for. So you got to go out and find yourself a team, whether that be your church, whether that be, your workplace or whether that be this group here and all that. So I think that's good.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I think life's a battle every day too. So I think that importance of being brothers in community and constant, conversation and lifting each other up is huge. So,
yeah. And it leads to this right here. If y'all look at that, I mean, give me your thoughts on that. I mean, it does. Galatians 6:2, bearing each other's burdens. And it's hard to walk alone sometimes, as a man, yes, you have your wife there, you have your kids there. What if you need some bro time? So what do y'all think about that?
I think, Eric went through it. Eric went through it. You know what I mean? Like Eric went through it from a distance, I think, with us as far as health wise goes. I mean, obviously we had to do podcasts without him, or we're praying for him. We're like, hey, bro, like, whatever you need. And you get stuff obviously from Aaron and support and the boys and stuff like that. But you're right. Sometimes you just need bro time, like, because I think that's when we're able to just kind of like let our hair down or kind of exhale, like, man, I've been strong all week or I've been strong all month. Like, man, I just need to sit here with y'all for a minute. I think that's sometimes that bearing that load sometimes is not speaking, but just being able to be in that presence of fellas and be like, man, what's good, man? What's good? I'm good. Not really, like, for real, like, what's good?
Not everybody gets to see what goes on after the show.
True.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just saying, I know we can all reflect on whether it was high school or college. We had an assembly of folks that we used to hang out with, and then life just got to a point where we went our separate ways, graduated, went on, had families, careers, and other things. But there's times when you kind of think about those guys that you spent a lot of time with, especially if their family situations, maybe some health scares that they may have had and things like that. So as Josh said, it never really stops you from wanting to pray for their circumstances. But the reality is that your life does go on. You're consumed by responsibilities that you have, and you may make new connections, that might feel stronger for where you are at this time in your life. But that doesn't mean that you can't reflect on folks who have helped you get to where you are, I indirectly talk about the fraternity and experiences with the fraternity. I'm not as close to the guys that I either pledged with or went to school with, but I think about the guys all the time. I think about, especially, coming up on homecoming in a couple of weeks. I think about who's coming, how folks are doing. I know there's been some health challenges with some of the guys. And so I don't ever stop thinking about it. but I'm closer to you guys. This is something that we've banded together to do. We have an experience that extends beyond maybe some of our former lives, things that we used to do. Devon, I think you said, you know, when you get connected with the church and things that you've got going on, so there's always going to be times where you're going to bear someone else's burden for where you are in life, but it, you know, doesn't always mean that you don't forget or look back to those who helped shape you, for things that you experienced to get to where you are.
Yeah. Devon. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog just came in here acting all crazy. Yeah, like sometimes you're just tired, bro. Like you can't run the whole mile, and you have to lean on somebody. You know, I think a lot of days you talked about college and you talked about frat and fraternity. You know, taking that L a couple of times. I'm just like, look, hey, I know I'm supposed to be the one, but I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that the 3 and the 2 to step on up and take a little of this heat. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, and I think that's the goodness about being a part of a group or being with your brothers who you can kind of rely on, and somebody who you know will run the ball and not judge you. You know what I'm saying? It might be like, all right, okay, I got you now. You just stay on my 6 and let's do this. And so like that's when you know you got a good core, when you got a good group, when you got people who you know are ultimately going to protect you and just take up your energy when it wanes, or guys who are going to come in your corner and just be like, you know, hey, I'm busy, but I'm gonna drop everything I got right now. We're just gonna pray for you, man. We're gonna pray that, you know, that there's some divine intervention that comes through and just takes over and give you just super stupid wisdom that you even never thought about before, or the courage to do what you know is right, like whatever it is. Sometimes we just need that assistance, man, and having a peer group or having a brother who can stand in is awesome.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
awesome.
So I'm gonna put this question up here because we talked about this before. Like this question right here, man. How do you
Yeah.
ask this question? How do you think about this question right here? And I got it. It just came to me, right? And actually, me and Eric kind of had this conversation yesterday a little bit. But when I was a young man and I was married and with Tatisha, yeah, I had my Marines, I had my boys in the squadron. But sometimes I would come home and when Braden and Megan were there specifically, and I was the fourth wheel in that cog, you know, because Mama's number one is Megan and Braden, you know, and here I am, like I want to be number one still, and I'm not always number one, you know. And I remember during that time I was frustrated, and I think for men sometimes, you know, if I think about Braden and you know, some young men, is like, I think if I ask all three of you about this is probably something that you felt, you know, when your kids that came around and all of a sudden you're used to being number one and all of a sudden you're not number one, you know, and there's nothing bad about that, right? I mean, it is bad, but it's not bad, right? And but you can let it get you down, you know, you can let it get frustrated, you can let it get,
Yeah, because we
yeah,
like to pout. We
we
like to
like to be
pout.
number one, you know?
Right, we're the one, like all the time.
I'm laughing hard inside, but Matt and I were talking about this yesterday, and Matt, Aaron and I had part 2 conversation last night about this very same topic, because she said, I want to go back to what you said this weekend, like where do you think you land on the list of priorities? And I said, well, and I was trying not to be smart. I really asked her, I said, well, you said God is number one. I said, do you split the boys up in like 1 or 2, like 2 and 3, and then 4? I come in 4th place, or do you see the boys as one? Like, so if it's that, it's God, is the boys, then it's me. So I might be 3rd, but if you split them up, it's like son 1, son 2, and that almost got me in trouble too, because she was like, I don't love one more than I love the other. I love them equally. I said, well, okay, then. Well, I'm number 3 then. I said, because I definitely ain't number 1, you know. And it was funny because even though that was funny and we laughed enough to where we didn't get too far out of pocket, the where that conversation came from, and as I was sharing with Matt, I have really been, my pastor's been challenging us to really think about grace and God's goodness, and really looking at He loves us, and I've been trying to get into that posture where I recognize that I probably had him number 2, because I was so busy trying to make Aaron my number 1, and then the kids and all this other stuff, to where I told her Saturday we went to dinner, and I said, Aaron, you know what I've realized? I said, it's probably going to be the dumbest thing I've ever said to you. I said, but I think for the last 17 years, I've been trying to make you number 1. And it should have been, God should have been number 1. And everything else flows, because He gives you the capacity to love, and the capacity to be His son, or you to be His daughter. And from that, you can love and give and do and whatnot. I said, you're no longer number 1. He is. He's got that space. And you are number 2. But I needed to realize that, because as a husband, I was so busy trying to make her number 1. She was my everything. From her came the boys.
Right.
We built this life together. So my mind's always been around my wife. And I don't want to get it twisted. It's not like I'm saying, like, number 2 because she fell down the chart. It's just I really had to prioritize my position as a son, and recognize who my daddy is. And from there, when I learned that position and really perfect being a child, being a child of God, I can learn how to be a better husband. I can learn how to be a better father, and everything else kind of flows through that. And so I knew it was a place where her heart was open to hear that, because she didn't get offended and say, "What do you mean I'm number 2?" or "What are you trying to say?" She really understood that, hey, I'm going through a pressing, a shaking, a molding, because I'm really trying to learn how to be a better person through my walk. And so I told her, I said, I look forward to seeing what the next 17 years look like, if this is something that, I don't want to say figure out, because there's work I got to do, but if really receptive to what I'm feeling as these last few days have been like, then it'll make me a better friend, better husband, better coworker, better dad, and other things. So Matt, it worked out. I just say it that way. It worked out. I jacked it up over the weekend, but it worked out last night.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, I'll say, I think, and not us obviously, but some men isolate because they don't have other men.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, all right, I'll pull back because, and I see, I posted a video of it, or we read about it. Like, we're not always the best at communicating our feelings to our person. If it's a wife or girlfriend, kids, sometimes whatever it is, we're not always the best at that. And then it gets shut down. It's the communication piece. But if we don't have other men to bring those topics to and to talk through, it's easy to just isolate and retreat, because it's like, okay, well, she or they or the kids or whoever, boss, whoever, they don't want to hear it, or they're not understanding me. I'm not being heard. So I'll just shut it down and I'll retreat, instead of, obviously, we obviously have that with each other, but some men just don't have that. And that's their defense mechanism. That's the only thing they know how to do. That's what their dad did, or what felt comfortable is, hey, well, I'll just leave it, because I'm not going to say anything. I'll just leave it. I don't got anybody to talk to. So I'm just going to pull back. I'll sulk. I'll sit in my feelings. I'll think through it. I'll work through it. I'll press through it. I'll push it down. And then it just happens again. I think that's a huge problem, was when you push those feelings down. I've been there for sure. Push those feelings down, because then you bleed on the person that didn't cut you. Yeah. And that's not okay. So I just think when men don't have other men in their life, that's when I feel like they would retreat, because I've been there. I've been there to retreat too.
Yeah. Why do men isolate? Great question. I think a lot of times it's what we know. I think you just alluded to it. Like, my pops was my roadmap. And that's kind of what he did. Like he would always isolate. But I think what it really boils down to is, as men, I don't think we ever want to feel lesser than. Like
True.
we always want to act like we are strong in all times, in all situations, at all moments. We want to know. We want to think that uh, we have the right answer. But catch this: not only the right answer, the only answer. When a lot of times that's not accurate. And so I think we isolate because of those scenarios. Like, if you want to cut a man, do you want to cut him? Like, and I know this is a trade secret, fella, so forgive me for sharing this, but tell him he weak in something. Tell him
Yeah.
he's weak or he ain't no good.
Yeah.
Like, you talking about somebody who's going to cowtail and stick their head between their legs. Like, you tell a man that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the most men I know. Maybe we all shop at Walmart
100%.
and don't know any
100%.
better. But like that'll sink them. That'll sink them real deep.
Yeah.
And so I think an only way to feel strong is to isolate. I was kind of laughing internally about when you saying that you third. Well, congratulations, brother. I think I'm six, and I only got 3 kids. So like it took me 20 plus years to figure this out.
Yeah.
That it's okay. One, speak I can't speak the language that she needs in order to be fulfilled in all aspects. And so I don't know that I ever really recognized that. Again, I wanted to be number one in order to protect my own self-interest. Like, you think about it. When you agree, maybe that's a bad choice of words, but that's the only one I can think of right now. But when you agree that you're not number one and somebody else is at a higher standing, again, that's saying that you may be strong or you may not be able to fulfill a certain need or whatever. But I think that's in actuality, I think that's strength to be able to recognize that. And
Yeah.
so I congratulate you for where you are in your journey and your process, being able to put thought to situation and
Yeah.
make it make sense. Like, because not everybody's able to do that. And again, I probably didn't figure this thing out till I turned 50, and I'm only 52. So I ain't been traveling uphill very long. But
Yeah.
and then the thing about it was so funny because when my wife and I we used to have this argument, she used to be like, not that she doesn't want kids, but she quickly reminds me that having kids was my idea. You know what I'm saying? And once God blessed us with these kids, um, she's mama all day. Like, don't ever get it twisted. She
Yeah.
is mama,
Yeah.
and that's her goal. I trip now because she's joined Scouts of America, so she could spend more time with Avery because she know Avery's the baby, and this her last ride. So what it's only gonna be like once that little sugar mama leave
Oh
the
yeah.
coop, I have no idea. But praise
You
God,
know,
he's
it's not
gonna
going
give
to
us.
stop. I can tell
Yeah.
you, it's not going to stop. Because the other
Because the
day when I was
grandkids gonna
watching
come out of that, right?
the Tar Heels get a shellac up.
Which day was that? It's been quite frequently these days.
The latest one, Tisha and Laney were on the call. Tisha went out and walked 8,000 steps, and Laney put in about 13,000 steps, and they talked the whole time while I was
Wow.
watching the game, the whole time. And it's good because they can do things like that. But yeah, it doesn't end, it doesn't change, and I'm glad. I'm glad it doesn't change for them and all
Yeah.
that. But I
Yeah.
think one of my goals is that my son closes the gap faster than we close the gap.
Yeah.
Anything that can come out of these podcasts or these discussions or our mentoring of him, in the long run, or other young men, is that we can help them close the gap. Because I didn't understand it, and I was a little baby. I was a little baby at times because I just wanted mom's attention still. I wanted Tisha to, I'm still here. Hey, I'm still here. But she's gonna do what she needs to do. She's gonna be a mom. That's why I always say Tisha and I did not go on a trip. All right, we got married in 1995. We went on one trip like our first year for like New Year's Eve with some friends. We did not go on a trip, just me and her, until she came out to visit me in Dallas, Texas, when I was going through Gulfstream 280 school 4 years ago. First time we did a trip alone. Everything was about us, kids, and family. Now I don't regret any of that because everybody knows my family's tight. But my biggest advice is take a step back and always do something with you and your
Right.
wife.
Right. And it could have, like you said, it could have gone differently. And the majority of families, it does go differently if you don't do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If the priorities, like Eric was saying, 1, 2, 3, and that, the pecking order, the totem pole, we ain't ever at the top.
Yeah.
we ain't never at the top. It doesn't matter if there's grown kids,
Hey,
little kids, no kids, we ain't ever at the top.
hey,
But
Eric, I know you got something to say, but I want to say, hey, if you're watching, because there's people watching, and you got a comment on this, please put it in there because I'd like to know what the other side thinks about what we're saying here. Go ahead, Eric.
No. I was to say another reason I feel like men isolate, and maybe I've said it in different ways, but I think it's a trust thing. You get to that point where now have capacity to trust other people because it's always, we always been conditioned that there's only one boss.
Yeah.
I want that spot. Somebody else try to get that spot. And I'm not going to tell nobody that I want that spot because now I want nobody working against me. Or as that one girl I want. I don't want to tell nobody I want that girl because somebody else might want that girl. And all those things where you start telling yourself there's only one outcome. And I'm just not going to share that with anybody. It gets to the point that when you now have a family, it's like my forward no more. My capacity is only inside this house. And I don't really have the capacity. Now, I even think about here recently, it took a lot to join this group at my church, the walking group. And I told them on the first day, I said, I don't really trust easily. If I and put some years in and got some sweat equity, it just doesn't happen that easily. And so, but because of the commitment of showing up, shortly after I got released from the hospital, I started attending and really getting to hear what these brothers were doing. And just some of the powerful things that were happening in their lives and the way they were willing to share. Matt, you talk about fall forward, their faith on display. Just like, man, this is so cool to see. There are people from various walks of life that are trying to do the same thing and being strong husbands for their wives, dads for their families, business leaders for the work that they're doing, but kingdom men. And so that kind of pulled back some of that whole, that I can trust the space that I'm in, or just, trust that if I'm vulnerable in a space where I'm sharing with somebody, they're not going to take that against me, or that shows up in the church as gossip or whatever. So I think that's one of the things that men have a hard time breaking, is that isolation, because they may not trust.
Yeah, well, before we get to that question, this is what you're talking about right here,
Yeah.
And men have a tough time doing that, right, Eric? I mean, we have a tough time, okay, are we going to let ourselves be vulnerable in this circle? Are we going to trust these men? How do we gain that trust, to where we get to that point where we're going to, be open and honest with each other?
I'm looking at that, or at least on my screen, and I think about Devon introducing us to Anthony. And it's ironic that it says what makes the circle safe. I just shared with him, we've been chatting a lot here recently, and every single time we talk, he's like, let me pray for you. What are you going through that I can pray for you? And he got off a call either yesterday or the day before. Hey man, I forgot to ask, what could I be praying for you for? And I hit him up. I said, dude, the thing I admire about you is that you're consistent.
Yeah.
You're consistent, man. And that's hard to find, a level of consistency where you'll take time out of your day and really, lift me up or whoever he's talking to in prayer. And so that takes intentionality, that takes consistency, that you're still grinding for what's important to you, but someone else's burden, you want to bear it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think you're spot on when it comes to that, brother. Consistency is down packed. But not only that, I think you got to be secure in your walk too. Like you got to know who you are. Like you got to
Yeah.
know what you stand for. Like what's your core values? Like we throw around that word all the time. Core values. Core values. What's your core values? And that's exactly what it is. I think for me, what makes a circle safe is the two C's. Like, are you willing to show up when I need you, and are you willing to to keep it under wraps? You know what I'm saying? Are you not going to try to put it out there in the ether? Like those things are huge,
Yep.
huge for me. Because like you said, trust don't come easy. Like I still have trust issues. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah.
And so I know that about myself, and I try to make sure that I return that uh, as well. Like when I think about the other two, like yeah, if you showing up and you keeping my stuff, under wraps, then you can be as honest as you want to with me. Like
Yeah.
you can tell me I screwed the pooch as many times as you need to, or till it can get through my thick head,
Yep.
and then let's drop down on the knee and let's pray. Like so, to me, it's like a pecking order. Like you got to break through that tough exterior first before you can get to the internal issues.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I mean, it's like this group here. I mean, when you mesh with somebody or you mesh with a group, and it can happen pretty fast. When you just get the bond, and to me, that's important. When you can turn to somebody when you're struggling. Josh says it all the time. Like, he knows when my phone call comes up to him, when I'm going to him, he knows it's for real, and when I go to you guys, it's for real because I don't turn to people very often. So when I'm turning to you, I need you. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like for real, because I'll do it with
And
my.
don't not answer the phone because he will call us out on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's very important, and that goes
Yeah.
back to you know, this question right here. You build the trust, you build the confidentiality, but then everybody goes through ups and downs. Everybody goes through ups and downs.
Yeah.
And so you gotta, I've had a couple people. I'll throw it out right there. Like, I know. I always talk about my three circles of life, right? And your family's your inner core, but then there's only a handful of people that you can pick up the phone and you can call and say, "Hey, I need you," and they'll say, "I'll be right there." They'll drop everything for you.
Yeah.
You know, there's only a handful. Now that doesn't mean you have a lot of other good friends and you have people that you are good with. But when you get those friends and they say, when you know that they call you or you call them and you say, "I'll be there,"
On my way.
I'm on my way. I mean, this group's right here. We've gotten there quick.
That's right.
My friend, my friend Vince Martinez. I talk to him all the time. My friend Bo Mansfield. He's in Bandera, Texas. I call him up and I'm like, Bo, I need you. He's there. And so that's what you need. You gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to some of the things too that we said. Like it's hard to find that. Go back to the one before that, map,
Yeah,
consistency, confidentiality, all of that is, and I've said it on here before because I've seen it. Men, the only man in your life that wants you to be better than him is your father. But if you can find people, other men that are going to clap loud for you, that want you to succeed, that's that circle right there. Like, hey, you know what? If Eric wins, hey, it doesn't matter if I'm in competition. We're not like we're boys, bro. That's what's up.
yeah,
Debo, same thing. Matt, same thing. But I think men get so, and going back to that isolation piece, is like, why am I going to share this with, if I, scenario, I can't share it with her, my wife, my girl, whatever. I can't share it with her because she's shutting me down. She's not getting me. Well, then I go to Eric and I'm going to share it with Eric. Well, Eric's going to be like, bro, what the heck's going on? You're this, and this. Devo, Josh is going, it's then that's where we isolate. All of a sudden it's like, hey, I heard you were, no. Like, I just want to be able to tell you this, confidentiality. Let's keep it under wraps. Let's talk through it. Let's pray through it. And then we'll talk about it after we're through it. after we're past it. Because if we're in it right now, I don't want it out there for the whole world to see. I don't want it out there for all this next layer of circle. I want it right here, and then we can talk about it once we're through it. I think that's a huge piece of isolating, because it's like, all right, well, if I can't, she doesn't understand it, and those my guy friends don't understand it, like, guess I'm doing it on my own. I think that's the way a lot of guys feel, and I think women feel the same way too. But men, we just feel that. It's like, well, who am I supposed to talk to? If I can't talk to my boys and I can't talk to my lady, then I'm just gonna keep it, and I'll just stuff, and that's when it erupts, and it's too late at that point.
Yeah.
Too late at that point.
Amy's here. We didn't make her mad, so she made
What's up,
Amy's
Amy?
yeah, it's just we got some good comments, but yeah, that's so true. People show up consistently without having to feel they need something in return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say like who's been there through some of the hard times, and I know that I can admit this. I said I wouldn't talk about my dad, but I can admit this. When I left home, I left home with the intentions of not coming back. It was just one of those, man, just take the reins off me and let me be free. I need the buck. I need to be wild. But now, and especially since I've been married and had children, I rely on my dad still. Man, there's just some conversations we've had where it's like, this man's been in the trenches and he knows how to be a good friend to the men that I've seen pull up. Like, there's one guy in our hometown. I remember as a kid, every Sunday morning at 8:00, Stanley Phillips called my dad. And I thought it was the weirdest thing. Why is this dude calling every Sunday? Like, literally every Sunday morning. My mom would be like, hey, hey, Harold, Stanley's on the phone. And it was so just pass the phone over on Sundays. But when I think about those two men and then their children and us, how we've grown up as friends, that was the model that I saw,
Yeah.
And so like that level of consistency that's there when there are things that I'm going through, that I could pick up the phone and call my dad on some things that I've been embarrassed to want to share with somebody else, that I've been able to say with him. And so I know that the relationships that I have with folks outside of my family are equally as important, but it's like one of those things where I want to get that time back.
Yeah.
For times when I felt like I was running away. I feel like I owe it to my dad to really stay close to him and share the things that are really, really close to my heart. That's my guy, who I go to, and I have to. Sometimes I burden him and I take advantage of the fact he's a pastor. And I'm like, this is what you do, Dad. You counsel folks, so I'm gonna share something too. But he never stops being my dad.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I feel the same about my dad too, which is cool. All right, y'all ready for the next question? Y'all ready? It's a good one.
Ooh.
It's a good one.
Don't retreat.
Yeah.
Don't try to do it on your own. I think that's and kind of follow up to all the things that we all just said. Yes, we know women do it too. They're great at it. Us men aren't so good at it, but we just retreat. Retreating's the worst thing you can do, regardless of the situation. Statistically, it's not good for people around us. I know it hasn't been good for me. In my past, like, just whatever it is, money, kids, job, relationships, family, whatever, it just, I got it. And then it's heavy. Eventually that's got to drop, and you don't want to drop it on, y'all know I got analogies for days. I mean, cut the person that didn't cut you, or just drop it, and it's heavy, whoever you drop it on. And it wasn't them. It's, I used to tell Hudson and Bentley the same thing. Like, look, I can hold all of this stuff, and you may spill, it's a whole getting upset for spilled milk. And my dad used to just come down on me because I spilled the milk. Well, it wasn't the milk being spilled. He had this going on the day at work, or this at church, or something the day before, my mom, whatever. And it's the spilled milk that is now like, that's the worst thing in the world. And man, just don't do it. Talk about it. You find somebody to talk about it. Send us a DM, send us a message, find another fella and talk through it. Don't try to do it alone.
Right. Life is just too difficult to go at it alone. I mean, I don't care who you are. Like, and if talking's not your thing, write it down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, just write it so that you can at least get your thoughts on paper, and you can get your thoughts more streamlined and more concise. I was listening to pastor of Elevation Church down in Charlotte, um,
Furtick.
Stephen. Yeah,
Stephen Furtick.
Stephen Frick. And one thing he said, gosh, what did he say? When you're going through stuff, or when you start to vent about stuff, you invent stuff. And so, like, that's just that slippery slope that we are all uh, magnetized towards, right? Is just going down the path. When you there, there, like, you just there. And so you just gonna be all in, and your mind is confabulation. You just gonna make stuff up just to make it fit your narrative, whatever it is.
Yep.
And we're all guilty of that. So that's the reason why I say, like, just write it down. If you don't want to give it to anybody, ball it up, throw it away, burn it, like, whatever it is. Just figure out some type of way to get your thoughts out. But there are a number of people who are willing just to have a conversation or talk to you and go from there. The worst thing you can do is keep it bottled up, because you only got so much real estate. You don't own the world, partner.
Yeah, I'll say this. Well, let me show this. Brett, that's my boy, one of my friends. And yeah, we want to get other people on here,
Yep.
And so, yeah, we, inviting Brett, other people, it's a good thing. So yes, how are you, Brett? It's good catching up, for sure. So I met Brett when I was in the V-22 Osprey program. So we helped develop that training system while I was in the Marine Corps, and then after I retired. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's pretty cool. And you never know, Brett's down in Florida, right? So we don't know who's watching and all that all the time. And that's a great thing. We really want to grow this, which I will put this out there here real quick. So where can you go put something? You can go put it in the discussion board. Go join. QR code up there in the upper left corner. Go join the Professional Dads community and convene and hit the discussion board. One of the things that I love about that, I'll say two things about it, is you can hit the discussion board and you can put something in there anonymously, right?
Yep.
And then people can respond anonymously. And so that's one of the things we do over there, is we offer that platform to people to kind of really talk and not have to feel like they have to put themselves out there. And that's sometimes what you need. You need a safe place, like we've talked about, to be able to go put your stuff out there. Yeah, I use this example, like, as a dad of, and Devo, you'll understand this, as a dad of girls, and Josh, as dad of girls, I can go in there and I could put a comment in there like, hey, I'm struggling, with my two girls. Well, I'm the creator of Convene. People don't know that it's even me that put it in there.
Right.
And you get some open and honest, good discussions going on, and people giving their advice. Yeah, here we are, the three of us or four of us, and we're giving each other advice. There's a lot of people who've gone through the stuff and have good advice. And so that's really an important thing that we can go through. I go back to something that you and I've said a lot on here, Devo, is that learn how to listen, right? For your friends. Learn how, and your family, your wife and your kids and your friends. Learn how to be a good listener. When somebody comes to you, when Josh comes to me and he has something going on, let's say, I don't have to sit here and say, Josh, you need to do this, 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 and this. I just need to listen to Josh. I just need to listen to him, until he asks for my input or wants my input, and that becomes very important in this whole thing. Eric, what do you got?
I'm good, man. Hey, Braden would know this, being at the Quaker school. Friend speaks my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything you're saying, I feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it goes back to this, right? We go back to what our show is all about, right? Iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
Iron sharpens iron, and we grow stronger together, when we allow others to shape us, And that goes back to how we started this conversation. To me, man, I go back to football. Man, there was nothing like
Sports.
playing football in sport. Baseball, same, but football, there's nothing like being in the trenches and going through 2 a-days with your boys. Whew, it's
Yeah.
rough stuff right there.
And to that quote, I've shared it before, but I think it's a great quote, and so I'm going to try to share it every time I get an opportunity. Um, and actually came from my new position that I have now. My supervisor said, "You will be the same person you are 365 days from now, outside of the people you meet in the books that you read." And like so,
Oh,
to me, that's iron sharpening iron, right?
Yep.
Go to go to the University of the People, aka your library, get their Libby app and download you some books and get something wholesome to fill yourself with. I used to kick it with my Sunday school teacher, and he used to say, "Hey, we love K Love, right? Like K Love is good, but like get a sermon or get a book and put that in your head. Like they play the same 10 songs for 18 hours, right? And so like do something constructive with that
right.
so that you can actually gather some points and you can develop yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know yourself better than anybody. Like you know what you need. Like get in the corner and be honest with yourself and find it. Like it's out there somewhere. You just
Yeah.
got to find it or I'll ask for it. Again,
Devon didn't give $1 a day for 30 days to help Caleb's open ministry. I can tell. For just $1 a day, you can keep the radio station on,
but the wife and Avery did. So
and you can get a $15,000 Amex gift card. It's just 30 more minutes.
yeah, they when they own, brother. Let me tell you,
That's
I
Oh,
love
Let me
K
stop,
Love. By
let
the
me
way,
stop hating
that
because I do
wasn't a flight
too.
against K Love.
no, I do too. Yeah.
They've,
that is
they've
fun.
helped expand my playlist.
Yeah.
That's
That
funny.
is too funny. You know, this is a good conversation though, because I think it's something that, like I said, we've all struggled with as men. We've all felt that isolation, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to learn to band together. You
Hey,
know,
hey, Matt. Sorry to cut you off, man, but it's bothering me. Can you put that other Facebook comment up there again
yeah, that one, that one.
from the young lady? Yeah. Uh, Miss Frazier, I think you're spot on. Not everyone is
Yep.
looking for advice when tell you how they feel. The greatest gift in the world that you can give somebody is what, Eric?
TIME.
Bam,
Baby.
Yeah,
dollar bill, y'all.
yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. That and learning how to listen.
That's it.
Again, give them
True.
Shut
time
up.
and shut
Shut
your
up.
mouth. Just shut up. With my wife, I said when I learned how to listen, just sit there and shut up and listen.
Right.
Man,
Yeah.
my marriage started turning around. It started getting, yeah. I was like, oh,
Isn't that amazing?
listen, man,
Isn't
stop
that amazing?
fixing things all the time.
Crack the code.
Stop
Yeah.
True.
fixing.
My wife
True
used to say all the
story.
time, look, you ain't no principal here. Like, I don't need you to fix it in 30 seconds. Just shut
Yeah,
up.
Right.
Just shut up and listen.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's what I said. Like
Working on
Tisha goes to work. She works in the ED. She comes home. She wants me to sit there and listen for about 30 minutes, and then she wants me to go away. Go
She
watch
want to
TV.
watch that show.
Yeah, yeah.
She wants to watch that show.
Let her just sit there. But she does want me to sit there and talk to her for a little bit and listen. So that's good. But it goes back to what you said, is you have to learn. I mean, you learn over time. When I was younger, I'd be like, the hell's wrong? You don't want to be with me? You don't want to spend time with me? I mean,
Right.
what's wrong with me? Yeah, it's all about me. It's about me. It's
N-
about
Number
me.
one. Not
It's
number
about
one.
me.
Number one. Number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then when
But
you go
Matt,
out there and play golf like 3 consecutive Saturdays, now you getting ready to get in some trouble. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You don't want me to talk to you, listen to you, but then I go play golf. Now we got a problem.
Right.
well,
Well, like you said, Eric, you said, oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do yard work for 3 hours every weekend.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No,
Uh,
but I think you said it. I mean, sometimes Matt, just the listening. I mean, it's not just with spouses or that. I mean, it's with us too. And Matt knows. Like I called Matt the other day on something. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just pulling into the office. I'm like, all right, hold on. I want to see your face. Like I read Matt something, and he didn't say nothing. I just kept on reading. I saw Matt's face and saw Matt's face. I'm like, what you think? He's like, Boom. Then Matt went in. Like, he's like, all right, like making sure that I'm done, but
Yeah.
listening. And it's like sometimes we don't. I mean, we don't do a good job of that. We're like, hey, it's me. I'm on that top of that pecking order, and we just want to fix, so we can move on to the next thing. Because we're like, okay, we're hero. Next, check, check, check. And it's like, nah, sometimes the best fix is just to listen. And we said it on here before. Do you want me to listen, or do you want me to give you advice? And I think that works with spouse, kids, work, whoever. Like, you just got to know what they need, not what we're, because we want to be prideful and like, oh, I got you. Well, they may have already figured it out. They just need to get it off their chest or get it off their mind.
Yeah.
So not always easy to do.
Yeah. Here's a good comment right there. Exactly. Sure can. Sure can. All right. We're going to talk about this. We got, what do we got? 9 minutes. We
9
always
minutes.
9 minutes. But look, here's our lesson learned for the week. Look at this. We're going to start trying to put out lesson learned. And you can say this sisterhood, you can say this brotherhood, you can say this whatever you want to. It's not optional. As a counselor, when people get themselves in trouble is when they isolate too much, right? When they don't have those outlets, when they can't talk to people, when they start self-doubting and they don't have that opportunity to work through it and just have somebody to talk to or somebody to listen to them and give them advice if they want it. So to me, you got to learn how to do it. Alone, we're vulnerable, but together we're unbreakable. I think that's so true. I think it's true. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah.
It's powerful. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen the Chosen?
Yeah.
And I mean, I go back and watch that at least once a quarter because I think about the collection of disciples and their stories. You get to see it a little differently than you do reading in the Bible. But the bottom line is that he chose a group of unqualified men and women in this case with the Chosen, but unqualified men, but they had something that he needed. And they didn't realize what it was that they would do to change the world at that time. And then their works is still changing lives to this day. But if he had not got the obedience to assemble the men together to go out and the episode that I really, really like from, I think it's like season 3 was a 2x2.
Mhm.
But, it could have easily went out and
Yeah.
preached by myself, but he sent 2 disciples together to go 2x2. And,
Yeah.
and so it really just showed how banding together to do things made them unbreakable because what the mission was. And so I reflect on the Chosen, I reflect on the life of the disciples, and I reflect on this conversation. That's where it rises to the occasion for me. It's just we have to band together in our circles, in our worlds to do something bigger than us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not optional. It's got. You could look at this as like brotherhood, sisterhood, our marriages, our relationships, our parenting. Doesn't matter. It's learning how to be there for each other, and being vulnerable in that process for
I think
sure.
it's the only way we grow. It's the only way we grow. The only way we can grow and learn and help other people is to be vulnerable. And
Yeah.
that's if we sit back on there like we, know everything or have gone through everything and don't want to share it. We want to keep it close to the chest. And you guys in the sales world, it's like, well, it's that competition thing. Eric and I know, like I don't want to share what I'm doing because I'm doing it, because then you'll do it and you'll be better. Like, it's not the vulnerability of brotherhood and wanting to open up and make those threads even stronger with our group. It helps each other's families, it helps each other's friend group, it helps work. I mean, you've got to be, sometimes you just have to let those walls down and let the ego push it away and just look, I need help, I'm struggling, I'm whatever, and let somebody pour into you or let somebody give you some advice, because we don't always know everything. We think we do, but we don't. So then we become unbreakable when we can when men can ask for help and not feel less than, then we are unbreakable, because we have just that this whole group of men or friends or ladies or groups or whatever going, hey, I need help. Boom, I got you. Boom, fill my cup. All right, I'm next, because you're going to end up having to fill somebody else's cup when they're asking you. I mean, it's just fluid. I think it's just fluid. So
Yeah. So weekly challenge, right? Again, whether you're a man, this is all geared towards men, right? Text you men, check in with them. That's easy.
yep.
Meet somebody for coffee or a prayer, right? We ate lunch yesterday, Eric. That was good. Keep zero secrets from your circle about what you're battling. I mean, I think this could be, with your man, woman, just check in. Check in. Doesn't
Yep.
matter. Check in with people. I think that's so important. Stop and check in, and just reach out, be present for people.
Yeah.
Being lonely is no fun.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's no fun.
So I'm
No.
gonna ask Devo to share one of his secrets with me and come back next Tuesday and say, I did the 2-1-0 rule. One of them was with Devo. My bad. I wasn't supposed to say that.
Yeah, I was supposed to say that.
Hey, I do have a little secret that I was battling that I'll put out there. I think it's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
My
Does this
oldest,
count for all of ours though, Matt? Like, does this count for all of ours?
No, this just for mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
0 squared.
I'm gonna be selfish. Nah. My oldest child got into her first DPT program, and she was accepted to VCU. So that's pretty
Wow,
good.
that's awesome.
Pretty good.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Kudos to her. That's awesome.
That's a good battle.
That's
So
a
go
great
Rams. Go Rams.
That's a good
I'm a Rams
battle.
fan.
VCU Rams.
Megan
Shaka smart. Shaka smart.
Megan
Yeah.
almost went there. Megan
Where it
almost went
started.
there to VCU for medical school. That was,
Yeah, they got a great medical school.
oh
So,
yeah.
Yep.
That's where I did my last air medical flight was into VCU.
Yeah.
I won't tell you.
That's
I don't want people getting sick on the thing, but it was bad. Some dude pushed his hand. Been pushing logs through a stripper for 30 years.
she's just a stripper.
He went too far. I'll just put it that way. And it was bad.
hate it when that happens. Hate it when that happens.
Oh, yeah. It was bad. It is. I mean, it was flopping in the wind. Oh, God. But what was
That's
funny,
back when Shaka didn't have no hair.
yeah.
Shaka went bald. Shaka somehow grew hair again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations.
That's awesome, Devo. That's awesome.
That's
That's
really
really awesome.
Yeah,
I'd be proud of that for sure. I know you are.
That's it.
Oof. Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're coming up on the hour. So
Man.
what else y'all got? Who wants to put a close?
It's a good one. I would just say, man, just from being there and learning from what isolation does, I think there's a difference in isolation and then taking a step back from things.
Yeah.
I've done both. I think you can take your step back to mentally take care of yourself, physically take care of yourself, emotionally take care of yourself, but you still need people in that corner with you. You still need people around. Isolating and completely shutting it all off is not the same thing, and that is not healthy. I've been there, done that. It's not healthy. I've watched people go through it, men, women, friends, family go through it. I would just say find a group, find one person, and you guys could be just like we did. Look, Matt and I, there's 4 of us. Anthony, that's 5. I mean, it just, and I talk about it all the time on, my social media stuff, but it's a ripple effect, man. It's just, you don't know who's watching. When Matt says we've got this, all 4 of us have this reach nationally based on all of our backgrounds. You never know who's watching and what that ripple effect of these conversation does to help men individually, to help their families, to help their spouses, to help their marriages, to help their work. It's just, man, find somebody. Don't isolate. Do not isolate.
Yeah.
I think my closing remark would be the battlefield is not yours. Like the book says it. Like, don't own it. Don't own it. Like no one said you had to take it on. Like no one said that you had to strap it to your back and roll with it. Like the battle is not yours. yours, and you are victorious. Like, go find you another brother, BROTHA, brother,
Hey,
and roll with it.
hey.
Yeah.
The battle's not yours. Don't own it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't have anything to add, man. I just been soaking all this in from you guys tonight. It's been one. It's good to listen, like you say. This has actually been more therapeutic than anything to hear from you guys. So I don't have anything else to add. I do want to challenge myself to do the 2-1-0 rule this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's good. I think that's good. 210 rule. Everybody reach out. Make sure you're getting in touch with people, checking in on people. People need you.
Yeah.
People need you. Yesterday, Eric and Josh were on a call, and y'all saw right at the end. Somebody said, "Matt, can you stay on?" I'm
Yep.
always stay on. Right. You always make time for people in need.
Yep.
Always make time for people in need. That's so important, and that's what we called on to do, and that should be what we really, really think about. Your brothers, your sisters, everybody, when somebody's in need, be there for them. So,
I see
um,
what you did. I see what you did.
See
yeah.
what you did there.
But, look, this is the professional dad. So we're talking about men, but no, you can see we have women watching. We love everybody's input.
Yep.
Everybody's input is so important. Um, and getting that is just we can all make each other better.
True story.
I love it. I love it.
True, true.
All right. Next week, we'll do it again. Let's do it again. 9:00 next week. And
Peace.
community. Let's go. Let's get going.
Hey, go be
All
great. Go be
right. That's it. Be great. Be great. Fall forward. Always fall forward. Never fall backwards. All right. We'll
Daddy
see.
Pride and Jiho this week.
Later.
All right. We'll see y'all. Hey, Drake May,
See
y'all
ya.
see the ball out last night? Or,
Yeah.
2 nights ago, Sunday night. All right. We'll see y'all. Bye.